Angie in North Carolina, you're on the air.
Hi, Alex. I have two important points I want to make and a quick question. I'm not sure if you've actually brought it up. I've heard you talking about torture and whatnot, but I don't think people in general are familiar with the fact that there are secret provisions to S-1867, particularly secret torture provisions. And there was a debate on the House floor. Lindsey Graham and Joe Lieberman, of course, were cheerleading for keeping these secret torture provisions classified. They didn't want them unclassified. And
No, you're right. I should have made a bigger deal out of that. Ma'am, I mean, it's total military worldwide, declaration of war globally, end of posse comitatus, troops on the streets. I said secret arrest, torture. It's all in there. Yes, ma'am, you're right. My rhetoric cannot rise to its level of evil. That's what I'm saying. People think I exaggerate. The world is so much more complex, and evil so much more wicked and stinking is the word I would give, like rotten meat, than my words can describe. You know, it's not even that I hate evil now. It's like, do I want to spend the weekend with a dead horse? You know, a rotting horse. I mean, that's what the New World Order is. It's a disease-filled, stinking, horrible thing. And I agree with you. I should have covered that more.
If people want to look at the video on YouTube, it's called S-1867, Secret Torture Provisions for Homegrown Terrorists. And
yeah, let me stop you again. Say that again. Say that again, because I knew about the provision, but not the video. I'll play it tonight and tomorrow on the air. What is it? S what? It's
S-1867.
Yeah.
Secret torture provisions for homegrown terrorists.
Wow. Well, I knew it had...
was actually arguing in that video against... people might get confused about what Lindsey Graham is saying. He's saying, you know, for the first time, we have a bill before us that would exclude Americans from being included in this. What he's doing is he's actually arguing against the provision, the amendment that would have excluded Americans from being involved in this. He's saying, no, if you are a homegrown terrorist, or their definition of that, which we know they've...
No, I know. He's incredibly deceptive. Well, then I have seen the clip you're talking about. They specifically talk about the secret torture provision?
Yes. And, you know, Joe Lieberman starts the video off with, I want people to be terrified about what we're going to do to them if we catch them and they're involved in any sort of extremist activity.
No, it's all about any sort of extremist activity, which means our political speech. He said he wants to censor the internet. All right, we'll get that. We'll play it. You're a real trooper. Thank you so much. That's S-1836, secret torture provisions for citizens, did you say? You still there?
Yes, I'm here. For homegrown terrorists. I have another important document for you, actually.
Oh, go ahead.
I believe on Wednesday, we emailed you a document. I noticed that Drudge didn't necessarily pick up the story about KBR being contracted to man the prison camp, so to speak, or at least they're on 72-hour standby to do so. We actually have the document that the government issued, the draft statement of work, the solicitation that KBR bid on to get the contract, where the government, puts out...
okay, real quick, where do you find that?
It's on a website called FedBizOps, FBO.
Do me a favor, email it right now, because we have KBR with the contract subcontracting, but I'd like to have that federal one. Will you email that right now to showtips@infowars.com?
Absolutely. And also, interestingly enough, in that document, they also, and I don't think they deny it anymore, but for years they did, they also mentioned Mount Weather for continuity of government. And this contract that they have with KBR is actually a continuity of government program.
I'll tell you what, send it right now. Okay, I'll see you tonight, 7 o'clock. We'll cover all this. This is breaking. We'll be right back. Send it right now. We'll come back with retransmission. But first, I need to get to some very, very serious news this evening. And that deals with the latest developments on Kellogg, Brown and Root. and the fact that they were given the government contract to build the FEMA camps, the latest round of FEMA camps that were built in 2006, the $380+ million just to build those new camps. Well, even though we had phone numbers, emails, it was a public contract that they got, people didn't believe it. No mainstream media picked up our story. And every day, mainstream media follows our lead and picks up reports that we break. And we're a credible news organization, and everybody knows that. But this is something that was totally blacked out. Now, thanks to listeners pointing it out, on the official federal government contract website, they have the National Responder Support Camp that deals with concertina wire, blockades, jails, the whole 9 yards. We have from back in May of this year, where the federal government quietly went out and put out the bid not to build more camps, but to prepare on a 72-hour notice, man the camps all over the United States. And of course, they're getting ready for rioting and passing laws, use the military domestically on citizens and have us disappear and torture us and censor the internet. It's all happening. Those of you that said that it wasn't happening, it's all happening. And so now we don't just have the overall umbrella contractor, Kellogg Brown and Root of Halliburton, going and getting subcontractors to be paid around the clock to be standing by to fully deploy at the camps. But now we have the federal government from back in May when they went and originally went to get the general contractor. So there it is, fedbizopps.gov. You can go there and you can look at HSFEHQ-10-R-0027, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, Homeland Security, the foreign banking receivership arm to destroy states' rights and national sovereignty, and you can read what they need, what they're asking for, the preparations that they are gearing up for, and you can see the groups that filed for it: Critical Response Networks, LLC, Safety Temps, Ltd., Wamban Group, LLC, First Choice Financial Group, LLC, and you see here who filed also, a for-profit organization, and you can see all the different contracts that they're requesting to carry out different functions at the camp, and some of these are for security and jail personnel. They've been hiring also internment specialists at a breakneck speed, both civilian and Army, as well as Marine. And there it is, Kellogg Brown and Root Services, and it's Clinton Drive, Houston, Texas. Yeah, I've driven by that. So there you have it. Oh, that's interesting. The lead singer of The Doors is running it, Jim Morrison. and the media, you can call that number. You can call Mr. Jim Morrison. You can email him, but no one will report on this. And ask what the Emergency Camp Gear Up is for. We have the Emergency Centers Act. We have the Military Commissions Act. We have the Civilian Inmate Labor Camp Act. We have all these admissions that, yeah, for hurricanes, tornadoes, disasters, civil unrest, economic collapse, they admit that it's also for political reasons, just like with the Japanese. The head of the big national American-Japanese group has been on this show and gone public with their concerns about all this. But no, quote, mainstream media, that means big corporate New World Order owned liars, have touched this. And we need to have our listeners contact them, contact radio hosts across the country, and say, hey, do you think this is important? Do you think that this is a issue? Because some people are living in denial about this, kind of like there's denial going on with the NDAA that a month ago we began to report on. People said, look, it doesn't affect U.S. citizens because this subsection says so. It was written deceptively, as Congressman Paul and others have said. But then in another section, it says, unless we say so. And then in about a week or two into that, about 2 weeks ago, the authors of it, Senator Carl Levin, Lindsey Graham, McCain, they all got asked about it. And they said, yeah, it's for citizens. We'll lock you up and you'll never be seen again. And then the president had his spokesman say, oh, he's against this. And then Levin had to come out. We played the clip like 4 times. We'll play it again here in a minute. And say, no, the president asked us to do this. Okay? And then the president said he wasn't going to sign it, or his surrogates did, and now he's saying he's going to sign it any day now. Obama's U-turn on definite detention bill, a historic tragedy for the Bill of Rights. And that's gotten wide coverage. But I thought that I would go ahead and get into the NDAA secret torture provision. Now, you've heard me mention that it's the Inter Posse Comitatus. Troops can operate anywhere in the U.S. and worldwide. It's a declaration of war against everybody and just a blank check. And it transfers all that power directly to the president. So the Congress becomes more and more ceremonial or vestigial, just like in the days of Rome, as the Caesars took more power during that decline. I don't know how to explain this to people. You're just going to have to find out, some of you. Let's talk to Angie in North Carolina. You're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hi, Alex. I spoke to you the other day about the government document from the KBR contract.
Yes, you're the one. We found the general KBR document, or was sent to us, and then you found where the government put out the original bid.
Yes. Actually, the document you guys linked to was a previous contract. It's probably still ongoing, but the document that I have, and I'll tell you what the name of the document is and exactly where to find it. It's dated November 18th, and it's way worse. Okay, then I guess when you sent us the link, we just found the wrong thing. I'm going to put you on hold, and I'm going to give you a private email. You get doing here. I forget what his email is. And will you just send us the link to the latest one, and we'll update it? Absolutely. I mean, in this document, which is dated the 18th, which was 3 days after S-1867 was actually introduced, the contractors are responsible. It's all out martial law scenario. They're responsible for setting up an operations center where they can communicate with the president. They talk about being able to all the different programs that they use, including one called Blue Force Situational Awareness, and you may know what that is, but if others out there don't know what that is, it's a military program where they use to identify friendlies and non-friendlies in the battlefield to avoid friendly fire. Now,
hold on. I'm about to have a heart attack right now, and we try as best we can. I can't believe you sent this to us, and we found the old one. I don't know how we do it, but listen, we were a great crew. It's just I'm exhausted, we're overwhelmed, and I'm getting really angry right now. Yes, that's how it's all in codes. I've been to the urban warfare drills. They'll be Blue Force, the militias, or the Red Force. You're telling me in there they've got Blue Force, Red Force?
They say that, yes, they have to.
Oh, God. I mean, they've got the barricades and barbed wire and stockade stuff. Okay. I'm going to try not to blow a gasket right now. I'm going to put you on hold. Give us the exact URL. We'll pull it up, and I'll hand deliver it to the writer. Stay right there. Oh, my God. Stay with us. Our caller here, Angie in North Carolina, I've been talking to her a little bit off air, and so the reason she knows about the stuff and knows where to find it is she knows some of the inside baseball. She sent us an email. We never got it. That's why we found the thing from May or June dealing with the FEMA camps being activated. She sent us where there's Red Force, Blue Force, and how to communicate with the Blue Force against the Red Force. This is for camps with military operations in the U.S. That's 100% with the barricades and all the rest of it. That's a FEMA camp run by the military against the citizens. And they're already announcing they want to use troops against us. So it's on. They're getting ready for the collapse. We're going to find it right now. I'm going to type it into Google myself right now, Angie. So slowly give me the name of the document right now.
Okay. The name of the actual PDF file, you can either search for the title or the PDF document is PAMSS.
Yeah. You know what? Don't give me the long PDF document name, just because that. Okay.
It's called Statement of Work. It's kind of long. For Federal.
Hold on. Statement of Work. I don't type fast. Statement of Work.
For Federal Emergency Management Agency.
Federal Emergency Federal Emergency Management Agency. It's spelled out?
Right.
Management Agency, okay.
National Continuity Programs, and then in parentheses after that, NCP. That's what they call these contracts, NCP.
MCP?
N, like National Continuity Programs, the initials, NCP.
Okay, I got to erase it. I heard it. Okay, NCP.
Yes, Program.
Uh-huh.
And Mission Support Services.
Support Services, all right.
And then in parentheses right after that is PAMSS.
PAM?
MSS, yes, the Program and Mission Support Services.
Okay, the guys have found it. And
it's November 18th, 2011. That's the date on the document.
No, we did find it. Good. Yeah, your email must not have made it through to us last time, but thank God we found the old one. And unfortunately now 2 of these have been out. People never pay attention to the third piece of info in the investigation, even though it's the most important. Specifically for us, where do we find the part about blue and red forces?
I'm sorry, say that again, Alex?
Where do you find the part about blue and red forces? Do a Control-F, blue.
Part of the operations that the contractors are responsible for providing are like communication systems and so on. And if you scroll down, it's under the title Operations Division.
Operations Division, showing this is military.
It's at the bottom of page 2 of 22.
It's the bottom of page where?
Operations Division, it starts at the bottom of page 2 of 22, and then it continues on page 3. And on page 3 is where it says, other efforts of the Operations Division includes initiatives such as Operation Rendezvous, Task Force Rendezvous, the development and integration of the Federal Emergency Response Official Repository System, National Security Special Event Contingency Support, Disaster Relief Humanitarian Assistance. Additional efforts of the Ops Division include Geospatial Information Systems, Blue Force Situational Awareness, Continuity Analysis, and Command Control and Communications Computing.
Yeah, so that's the military running the emergency camps. And then where is the Blue Force, Red Force, Command of Blue Force?
Well, it's right there in that line there. It says Blue Force Situational Awareness, or BFSA. All
right, Blue Force Situational Awareness. Yeah, we found it. Holy mackerel. That's the military waging war against the American people and putting us in FEMA camps. Absolute smoking gun to FEMA. Oh, my God. If you just joined us, I just got completely blown away. It was Nancy, the caller, who called us, I guess on Monday, and said, yeah, you found the Halliburton documents where they're now going to man the FEMA camps that even Wall Street Journal admits they built in 96, or 2006, excuse me. But do you know about the Department of Defense master order? And then we got hit by so many emails, we didn't get hers or lost it. People pointed out June where they were doing purchase orders. The one she tried to send us, and that she just called in and mentioned that we just pulled up on screen, is on Homeland Security's website. It admits the military and the NSA is going to run it, and talks about the military, the stockades, the barricades, and Blue Force communications against the Red Force. Now, that's all code, but I've been to the urban warfare drills, and I was talking to her off air, and I said, well, how do you know? Because I mean, certainly Red Force, Blue Force, the command and communication of their Blue Force, that's military parlance for war. That's how they call themselves generally the Blue Force. I've been to Marine Corps drills where they've got it all up on big satellite projections of where the troops are, Blue Force, Red Force, where they're training to take on, quote, the militias in San Francisco and Oakland. I shot that in 99, Operation Urban Warrior. And she said, well, I mean, she knows about it because she's there, folks. This is people in the, well, she said she'd stay on hold. I'm not going to say much more than that because we've got a guest already scheduled, but I'm going to have her pop in at the bottom of the hour. The computer we were getting all this up on, we had to go to Skype to get our guest on, so we're pulling it up on another computer, highlighting it all, but I read it there on screen. If you're watching PrisonPlanet.tv, you saw me. This is the Homeland Security FEMA website, Department of Defense, a bid system, and it's super ultra creepy. and really upsets me, because you've got the state reps calling for martial law in Illinois and on CNN and in New Orleans, in Chicago and New Orleans. You've got the calls for checkpoints to be set up all over the country. You've got the NDAA passing and saying we'll use the military against citizens. We found C-SPAN video from last Thursday where they talk about killing U.S. citizens. I mean, that's going to be on the nightly news tonight. My head is even spinning. This is a giant buildup for war against us. Angie in North Carolina, I don't know how much you want to say what you told me off air, but you have reasons to notice these things in the Department of Defense orders. But how big an issue, just to our guests, breaking it down, to talk about the military running emergency camps. Well, you could say it's for floods and things. This says Blue Force situational awareness communication, and you're absolutely right. When they talk about Blue Force versus Red Force, that means a combat situation. Angie, finish up your points on that.
Yeah, I think it's very disturbing. This whole entire document is their bid to contract for the establishment of a communication system for the purpose of essentially a complete societal breakdown, continuity of government situation. And that's exactly what it says, that the operations divisions need to provide the, basically the electronics communication.
And look at outreach support. That's going to be PSYOPs. And then in there it talks about Red Force. And again, I've been to the drills. That means waging, when they go red-blue or blue-red, when it talks about Blue Force, that's the government against somebody.
Right. It says Blue Force situational awareness. And I'll say it again for those that don't know what that is. It's the communication system that the military uses, it's a military program, to identify friendlies and non-friendlies in the battlefield for the purpose of avoiding friendly fire. Generally,
it's a transponder, unless they think the enemy's tracking them. Then they turn them off, or it's what's painted on the tanks. It's codes that are blurped out. And anybody else who isn't, on the blue list, you're on the red list.
Right.
Or they can use other colors, but usually it's blue-red. I mean, this is amazing. And, I mean, you know about it. I mean, what are the people you know that are involved in this? Are they pretty upset right now?
Yeah, very. It's an extremely disturbing development. Basically anything that would provide for, a 72-hour standby in order for them to be able to pull together, situational control within the borders of the United States using the military is disturbing. That's why we have posse comitatus, because...
well, we don't anymore. They just passed NDAA. Now, I mean, Sure, it's outrageous, but wait, we found a C-SPAN clip. It's in like a 2-hour-long show, so we didn't play it on the radio. We found it at the start, but we're going to try to play it tonight, where they're on C-SPAN going, look, we're not just going to arrest you, we're going to kill you. And they say, yes, we're going to kill Americans without a trial. I mean, just the magnitude of this.
Well, that's what's so disturbing. And as you were saying before, with the Blue Force, Red Force, the way that works is, you're right. Blue Force is considered friendly, and they carry transponders. And essentially, anybody that does not have a transponder that identifies them as a friendly is considered a Red Force or enemy. And that's what they use out in the battlefield. Now, I don't know why they would want to set up a system to be able to use that here within the United States unless they know something that we don't.
Well, look, I was told by insiders, and now, of course, the drones are actually tracking farmers, so people believe it now, that they got the GPS marking of your door for SWAT teams, Army truck pickups, and drone attacks. And I was told this by an Army colonel who was so scared he wanted. I'm not going to get into it. Listen, I'm going to put you on hold again. I'm going to have Rob Dew call you. I want to interview you on the TV tonight. We'll disguise your voice or whatever you want, because I know you have a lot more inside info. I'm going to put you on hold now. Our reporter, Rob Dew, is going to call you. We're going to finish up with reporter Greg Hunter of USAWatchdog.com.